I don't even know why I bother to wear black ever in my life when I have a zoo in this house with full of animals. Okay, so the cat's out of the bag. Oh, another thing. Somebody asked me, somebody just said to me, left a message going, why do you always wear a hat? Like you have a hat on in 90% of your videos. Is that like your signature look? And I'm like, no, that's probably because I'm 90% of the time I have gray hair. And, you know, as we all know, I'm on this journey to rebuild a kick-ass life and I've got to save my money. And so I don't want to do my gray hair every 2 weeks. And so when I wear a hat, I can cover up that gray and prolong having to do my roots to maybe, I don't know, once every 4 weeks. So that is the truth. There you go. Now you know. That's why I wear a hat most of the time. It's to cover the gray roots. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the cat is out of the bag. One of you noticed my last name and asked me if I was Blake Moynes, if I was related to Blake Moynes. And I'm not here to talk about him, but what I am here to talk, and yes, I am. I'm his mom. But what I'm here to talk about, and I thought this would be a great segue into my video, is, you know, we've all heard that expression, no risk, no reward. This is why I'm using his name, because it's a great segue into the topic of today. And you know, so many of us do not take risks in life because, well, it's scary, right? And playing it safe and having a good job with benefits and a pension and a vacation, that's just playing it safe. That's the, you know, good old American dream. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want that, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But I preach to my kids, and I have 3 of them, all the time, all the time. You know, life is short, and try and collect experiences and memories and dare to dream and dare to jump and take those risks. And you know that live, love, and laugh. Yes, do that and take the path less traveled. And I'm going to talk about each 3 of my kids individually, but let's start with Blake. So when he came to me and said that he was going to go on this show and should he do it, because it was risky. Because if you know anything about the show, you know, you take a chance on how the editing, you know, how you come out. And for a lot of people, it does affect their mental health. And there's a lot of trolls and there's a lot of haters. And so unless you have a really thick skin and unless you know who you are at your core, and that you are not going to be bothered by negative comments, because they are going to come. And I did say that to him. Listen, there's no guarantees here. So you're going to get the haters. They're just out there. You need to learn and you need to be in a good place mentally in order to be able to deal with that. That said, are you asking me what I think? I say, abso-fucking-lutely, you do it. Do it. This show, for those of you that don't know, if those of you have never heard of Bachelor Nation, has been around for over 20 years. It's a syndicated national show, and it gives you lots of exposure. And I think it could not only do you have the potentiality of meeting some people, incredible people, and maybe meeting the love of your life. Listen, I grew up watching the show. I'm going to say it right here, right now. Yes, I do watch reality TV. It's mindless entertainment. And sometimes at the end of the day, you just need mindless entertainment. And hey, there's some success stories. Tristan Ryan, for those of you that know the show. Molly and Jason. I was going to say Brian and Rachel, but I think they just announced their breakup recently. But Dylan and Hannah. These are all married couples with kids right here in my own town. Kevin and Astrid, married with kids. So there have been some success stories. So I said to him, not only could you maybe find the love of your life, but you're also going to open up so many doors just to have that exposure. And let me tell you, I could not be more proud of that kid of mine, who not only went on 1 season, but he's now been on 3. And he has created one hell of a life for himself because of having been on the show and having garnered a lots of, I don't want to say fans. That sounds so like, not fans, but followers. Let's just go with followers, because he has, I think, 500,000 followers on Instagram now. So the ability to have garnered that many followers has really shone a light on his platform. And what he has decided to do with that, because this has been a long life passion of his, is he has turned that opportunity and that platform into the greater good, and he is living his dream. He is now a conservationist, he's an environmentalist, he's traveling around the world, working with conservation organizations literally all over the world. He's in the Amazon, he's in the jungle, he's in the French Polynesian, he's in Indonesia, he's in Galapagos, he's in South Africa a lot. He's actually in South Africa as we speak. I just saw a video. He's down there working with raising money for a charity where he was mountain biking. They have to do like a 60-kilometer race or something, and he took a wipeout as he's filming, and all I saw was black. And I'm freaking out. I just sent him a message. I think he's okay. I'm waiting for him to respond. But my point is, had he not taken that risk, had he been all in his head, and had he taken the advice of someone that said to him, I'm just going to tell you, it was his dad. Okay, are you sure you want to do this? Because you know what? You have a good job, and you have benefits, and you have a pension, and you get your vacation time 3 weeks out of the year, and you really need to think about it. And I was like, what the fuck? Honey, you're killing rats for a living. Well, he wasn't killing rats. He was working for Able Pest Control, which is a pest control company, and he was in management. But still, my good God, I mean, you know, I just think that I just said to him, you know, Blake, every time you take a risk and you succeed, you are going to boost your confidence. And the more your confidence gets boosted, the more your confidence grows. It's going to give you the confidence and the ability to take on bigger and better challenges, right? So, I don't know. I just said to him, you know, and you know, if you go on this show and you succeed, he's a likable kid. I'm not saying that because he's my kid. He's a likable kid. He's got a great personality. He's got a fun sense of humor. He's just had everything going for him. I couldn't possibly see it going any other way but being a positive experience for him. And we talked about what would happen if the negative happened. He had to quit his job. He had to, in order to go on the show. And I just said to him, you know, if you succeed and you know, you're going to achieve things, Blake, that you never thought were possible. And taking risks is going to open up this whole world of possibilities. And that's what it's done for him. And had he followed the advice of, like just steer the course and stay safe and get your 3 weeks vacation and get your paycheck and get your pension, he would still be working for pest control probably, and not living the life that he has really created for himself. And I applaud him, and it's been hard work. And the show gave him the platform, but then he built the platform and he branded himself into this life passion that he's had, and he's made it a reality. So that's one child. My other child is now a commercial pilot. And there's a story behind him too. So first of all, he has had more surgeries than probably birthdays at this point, but I'm not going to get into that. That was really, really challenging. And you know, that's probably part of the reason why his dad and I divorced really young. We got married really young, but divorced like soon into the marriage. There's a lot of challenges with having a sick child. And it just compounds to the problems. Not that I'm going to blame that on him, because it was not him at all. But things, it's never just one thing, right? When in some divorces, what's that saying? It takes more than one raindrop to create a flood. It wasn't just one raindrop. There's a lot of raindrops that created that divorce. But for him too, this is his story. He went to university. He was playing varsity football. He was in the science program. He graduated with honors in the science program, playing varsity football, because if you go to university, you know that it really is all about the sport when you're playing a sport in college. And so there's a lot of time that had to be dedicated to playing the sport. Oh, he also, by the way, walked on, had never really played competitive football, walked on the field and made the team. But that kid has succeeded in everything he's ever done. Why? Because he is an overachiever. He doesn't give up. He doesn't quit. He keeps going, and he doesn't take no for an answer, and he works his fucking ass off. Anyway, he went to university, was in the science program, graduated with honors, played football, wrote his MCATs, wanted to go to be a veterinarian. That was what he wanted to do. Wrote his MCATs. At the 11th hour, he changed his mind, and which was like a dagger, right? Like you could have doctor at the front of your name. And he wanted to be a pilot. And I remember at the time feeling like, oh, really, Code? Oh my God, we just spent how many hundreds of thousands of dollars for you to go to school for 5 years to be a veterinarian. And he wanted to be a pilot. Still though, as the mother that has always preached, do what you love what you do, and go for it, and take risks, and don't be afraid. And now is the time, because when you're married with a mortgage and kids and a family, it's a lot harder to be taking those risks and to be, venturing out trying to achieve your passion. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's definitely a lot harder. You've got mortgage to pay, you've got mouths to feed, you've got to put a roof over your head, you've got, maybe a wife to support. And so that becomes a lot harder. So when they're young, without all those added responsibilities, yes, absolutely do it. So my advice to him was, you want to be a pilot? I know you can do it, Code. I know your work ethic. I have witnessed it. I have seen it. Go do it and achieve your dreams. And today, my second child is a commercial pilot. So that's him. Encourage your kids to take risks. Encourage them to live if they can, to explore, to experience. Honestly, we only live once. And then my third child is a girl, and she now runs her own business. So all of my kids have always been huge animal lovers and wildlife lovers. Hence Blake working for a conservationist, saving this, all the endangered species on this planet. He's got a mission to save them all. And so all of my kids have always loved animals. I remember when they were little, we had a cottage, and they had what they called a critter catcher. So it was this massive box that had sections that was like divided with chicken wire. And then they would have like an ecosystem. So they would have like snakes, and then toads or frogs and crickets, and then they would charge our guests like $2 if you wanted a lesson on the critter catcher and how the ecosystem worked, how the snakes would eat the frogs, would eat the crickets. Anyway, I digress. But so they've always really been into that sort of stuff. So she was always really, really good, my daughter, with animals. And so when she was working for a breeder, the opportunity during the pandemic, as you know, during the pandemic, everybody got a dog. Unfortunately, a lot of people are returning them, which is really sad, but I don't want to get into that. So she started working for a breeder. And then during the pandemic, we collectively, we had a conversation one day. I noticed that there was a real need for groomers, dog groomers. There's all these dogs out there. Breeders were really busy. A lot of dogs were being rescued. A lot more households had dogs, which, by the way, I just think it's such a rewarding job. I really do. So she, being a dog groomer, she gets to work with animals all day long. And she's someone that does better anyway, working on her own. And so we decided that, because I feel like, when you're a parent these days, you got to help your kids because the economy is crazy. So I said to her, I will help you, and I'm here to support you. And I think you should start your own grooming business. And at first, like we all are, right? Like you're a little bit hesitant, like there's not enough confidence that you can do it, or I don't really know what I'm doing, or are people going to like me, or like maybe I'm charging too much. I don't know if you can hear my dog in the background, but he's going crazy downstairs. I won't let him up while I'm videoing. Anyway, so, she had all those doubts, right? All those doubts that we always have. And I said to her, but you'll never know unless you try. You just have to try. Just try. And if you don't like it, then the person that she was working for offered her a space where she could work and do the grooming. And she did. She tried it, and it's 3.5 years now. She took a course, obviously, and it's 3.5 years now, and she has her own business, and she is a dog groomer, and she loves it, and she's so good at it. And so that is my point to the video, you guys. That is my point. Don't be afraid to take a risk. So many people in life just play it safe. And I get it. I do. It's scary. What if it doesn't work? What if it fails? What if I lose all the money that I put into it? All the what if. But what if it does work? And what if you're following your passion? And what if you created a life for yourself that now doesn't feel like work, that you get up in the morning and you love what you do? I'm a stager. I'm a home stager. I love what I do, and I don't even think about the paycheck. Before I became a home stager, because I too took the risk after I left my marriage, and I had to figure out what the fuck am I going to do at 50 years old? Who's going to hire a 50-year-old? And I started my own business. And I'd never done that before. I'd never started a business. I'd never been, on my own doing anything like that. It wasn't until I was 50 that I started doing that. And before that, I worked for L'Oreal, one of the biggest cosmetic companies in the world. That is why when I look at the 15 years of my life that became that I just spiraled so out of control, when I was always so together, and then I had these 15 years where I don't even know what the fuck, like what happened to me, like who had I become, and now I'm back again to my old self, because I was like I said, I was working for L'Oreal. My meetings were in Paris, like not Paris, Ontario, Paris, France, when we had national sales meetings, and that job too, to me, didn't feel like work. I didn't even know when I got paid, because when you love what you do and you do what you love, it's not work. It's just life. It's just part of what you do in life. And I remember, and I've made a video about this, as a 21-year-old sitting in this really cold bus stop at 6 o'clock in the morning in the middle of winter, when it's dark and freezing your ass off, and waiting for the bus to come, and thinking, is this it? Is this my life? I'm working at Shoppers Drug Mart as a cosmetician. There's got to be more. And that day I went to work, and I believe that the universe conspires sometimes to work with us. And the L'Oreal rep came in to see our cosmetic buyer and told her that she was going to be, that was going to be her last visit, that she was leaving. She had been transferred to another province. And that day, as I heard that, I made the decision that I want that job. Anyway, fast forward, I got the job. And I was up against a lot of people with a lot of experience. So initially I didn't get the job. I went to Sylvie Baron because she was French, and I had to cover part of a French territory, Gatineau, Quebec. And oh my God, I still remember my message on that machine. Bonjour, vous avez rejoint la boîte vocale d'Emily Moyne. Je ne peux pas répondre présentement. S'il vous plaît, laissez-moi un message et je vous rappellerai dès que possible. Merci et bonne journée. Did I perfect that? I had to learn that. Anyway, I was always really good with languages, so I faked my way through the interview with my minimal French. I didn't get the job, but the girl that got the job hated her territory. She quit, and then I ended up taking over. And so that is my point. Take risks. Don't be afraid to try. Just leap right into it. And if you fail, you fail. So what? Fuck, who cares? Failing is just a way to redirect you into somewhere else, or try harder, or try something different. Don't be afraid to fail. Without failure, sometimes there is no success. How many people that are super successful now have failed and failed and failed until they hit the nail on the head? So don't be afraid to fail. Take risks. Without risks, you're not going to get the rewards. And try and create a life for yourself where you are not just playing it safe. Take the road less traveled. And I know it's easier said than done. And I know it's hard. And I know that, sometimes there's so many responsibilities that are on your shoulders that you feel like you just can't take that risk. But if you can, then do. And I am done preaching for today. Wow, that was a long video. I'm done preaching for today, but that is just what I really so strongly believe in. And sometimes it takes a long time to succeed, but just keep going. Just keep going. And I don't know. I just believe that the universe does conspire to work with you. And sometimes when you manifest it for yourself, say it, think it. Oh my God, you know what? Hang on one sec. Hang on. This is another reason. This is another thing too. I'm a published author. I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. But apparently I am a writer because I have a book. So anyway, what I was going to say about the how I finished my last page: think it, say it, feel it, live it, believe it, and it shall be. That's how I ended my book. And I believe that so much. Fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it, you guys. That's part of manifestation. Just fake it till you make it. I feel like that is manifesting. And sometimes I get told, well, you were just lucky. No. Luck is preparation meeting opportunity and working your fucking ass off. I gotta go. My dog's calling. Have a great day, you guys. I think I've said enough on this. Bye.